There's an island with wild horses. Assateague Island, located off the coasts of Maryland and Virginia, is home to over 300 wild horses that roam freely. These horses are believed to be descendants of domestic horses that survived a shipwreck centuries ago. The local lore suggests that a Spanish galleon carrying horses ran aground, and the horses swam to shore. Interestingly, these wild horses have adapted to the salty diet of marsh grasses by drinking twice as much water as regular horses. Assateague Island is a protected area, and the horses have become a unique tourist attraction, living a wild and untamed existence just miles from bustling cities. There's an official town with no population. Monowi, Nebraska, is the only incorporated town in the U.S. with a population of just one person. Elsie Eiler, the town's sole resident, is its mayor, clerk, and treasurer. She runs a tavern, maintains the town's library, and even pays taxes to herself. Monowi was once a thriving farming town but declined as residents moved away. Despite its tiny size, Monowi is a functioning municipality, with Elsie fulfilling all administrative duties. It's a quirky and fascinating example of small-town life and resilience. The U.S. has a hidden underground city. Seattle, Washington, has an underground city beneath its streets, created after the Great Fire of 1889. The original streets were built too low, leading to frequent flooding. After the fire, the city was rebuilt on higher ground, leaving an entire network of streets, sidewalks, and storefronts below the modern city. This hidden underground area still exists today and is open for guided tours. Walking through it feels like stepping into a ghostly, abandoned version of 19th century Seattle. The U.S. once had a camel corps. In the mid-1800s. The U.S. Army created a camel corps to use camels for transportation in the arid Southwest. Camels were brought from the Middle East because they were well suited to desert climates. However, while the camels excelled in carrying heavy loads and navigating the desert, they were difficult for soldiers to handle and scared horses. The experiment was eventually abandoned, and the camels were released into the wild, where they roamed freely for years, sparking rumors of wild camels in the American desert. The Liberty Bell has a misspelling, one of the most iconic symbols of American freedom. The Liberty Bell has a glaring typo. The bell's inscription reads, "Proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof." But the word Pennsylvania is spelled as Pennsylvania. Interestingly, this was not an error at the time, as it reflected one of the accepted spellings of the state in the 18th century. Today, the misspelling adds a quirky historical charm to the revered symbol. The U.S. has a secret eternal flame waterfall. Deep in Chestnut Ridge Park in New York lies a fascinating natural phenomenon called the Eternal Flame Falls. Behind the small waterfall, there's a natural gas seep that produces a continuous flame. The flame stays lit most of the time, although it occasionally needs to be reignited. This rare combination of fire and water creates an enchanting and mysterious sight, attracting curious visitors from around the world. Scientists believe the flame is fueled by a unique type of natural gas found in the shale rock beneath the falls. The U.S. once planned to nuke the moon. During the Cold War, the U.S. developed a secret project called a Study of Lunar Research Flights, or Project A119. The plan was to detonate a nuclear bomb on the moon to demonstrate American military superiority to the Soviet Union. The explosion would have been visible from Earth, serving as a powerful propaganda message. Thankfully, the project was scrapped due to concerns about public backlash and the potential contamination of space. This bizarre piece of history highlights the extreme lengths nations considered during the tense Cold War era.